3, 2, 1.
And we're live.
Surprise.
Surprise. Yeah, surprise.
Hello.
Well, welcome back to our non-existent show. We'll give everybody a minute or two to join. I know quite a few people takes a second for X to pop up, so we'll just give them a second.
Let me
But
disappear
until
again.
then, just awkward silence. It's always the best. It's been a while since I think any of us have streamed on here, so it's kind of excited to see. Yes, I did shave. It's kind of excited to see a lot of people that I haven't seen for a while kind of join up, and it's probably been 8 months. So I do look
really?
different. Yeah.
Wasn't
yeah,
that
last
long?
stream has been a while.
Yeah.
It's our first stream on the Links Labs X, so hey, celebration. Welcome back. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, let's just get started here. So, thanks. So, so today's stream is focused on builders, both in the Cadena and Electrum ecosystem. If you don't know them, I'm sorry. I'll be joined with Floor and Radu. Floor Floppy, so that's why most of us know him. They're both stand-up guys. I've known them for quite a while now. My crypto journey, if you could see my beard, it was so gray from the time I've known them till now. It's gotten like 10 times worse. But really, this is gonna be a lot of fun. So we're probably not the most PG 13 group, but we'll do our best here. Well, yeah, Floor will do his best. I'll let it slide this time. I didn't put on the YouTube filter for children on this one, so I just want to be safe. But really talk about what is Linx, what are they doing? There's a lot going on that you may or may not know about that I'd like to kind of get them to talk to you directly, right? And the point of this is ask questions. We'll post questions up. Just kind of ask them. I'll kind of just keep an eye on the questions. If there's anything that's really important and we skip over it, you can repeat it. Just don't be obnoxious about it. And for that, I'd like to just kind of get started and really just kind of go over. It's been a while. I've talked to you both, I think maybe on like audio streams before. Obviously, I've chatted with you guys directly many times. So for me, this is going to be a lot of fun. And really just, lately in the markets, it's been so cool. And then it's so bad, right? So it's like the sky's falling, the sky is up. And really kind of just, if you guys wouldn't mind, just kind of like, what's going on with you guys right now? How are you feeling about that stuff? And we'll take a few minutes here and go over what you feel about the markets right now. And then we'll kind of dive into the product.
Yeah, I think we're very positive on the current markets from a buyer's perspective. Mm-hmm. From a holder's perspective, I think it's the biggest fucking nightmare you can be in. But we don't have to cut around anything there. So, I mean, yeah, market is shit. We're trying to raise in basically the worst timing you can imagine when you try to raise. But yeah, you have to move on. I mean, you got to keep building. You made a commitment to your seed investors as well as to keep on going. And so we just keep on going. And in the end, what we launch isn't dependent on what we sell. It's not like if we don't sell this amount or we don't reach this amount, we're not going to launch. No, it is going to launch. And if you're one of the lucky Linx token holders, then you will definitely get value. There's no question about it's coming or it's not coming. It's coming for sure. And I think we initially never had an idea of a pre-sale. On the one side, it's some kind of a necessity to raise a little bit extra to get towards the public sale, but it's also because we want to have a connection with the Cadena community as well. We're not only Alephium. We're not only on Alephium. The most protocols we build are on Alephium, but the wallet is our basis point of where we got started and where we got most of our users. I mean, 90% of our users are on the Cadena side. So we want to give them an opportunity to get in as well. And in the end, everything in an ideal world should end up connected. And thanks, yeah, I'm trying. I don't have a very good beard, but
Yeah, I'll let Radu jump in if he wants, and then I got a couple follow-ups for you. We'll just skip right into it.
Yeah.
Well, Floppy went from markets all the way to links and tokens and sale and whatnot. What should I say about markets? I think in general things changed a lot from let's say what we were used to in the previous, what we call cycles. So from folks that have been involved and have been like following what's going on, and maybe in 2017 and maybe even earlier. I mean, the landscape is like completely different, right? Like, we had, let's say, a lot more hype back then, which is normal. I mean, the whole tech was still in its early stage. Like, people was like super excited about it, and with excitement comes also like very positive price action, right? But things evolved. And fast forward today, I mean, we are everything is like much more mature, right? And I think that also like changes the expectations of everyone. So I think in general, like you can see that the market is like pricing a lot better, like apps and projects that have real users, real revenue. Their tokens have real utility. So there's been islands of outperformance, I think. And if you were on those islands, like, good for you. if not, I mean, it's been like pretty brutal, but overall, we have to adapt, right, and keep building and push forward.
Yeah, and I think
funny thing is, I think, market-wise, we actually have kind of opposing views. Me and Radu, we get into some discussions usually in the mornings about markets and stuff. But I mean, we're both pretty clear about that this isn't a last cycle, or we missed a last cycle, or whatever. And I'm very strongly opinionated that we're just in a normal cycle. It's just dragged out a little bit more than what we used to. And if that's because of more institutional investments and stuff like that, maybe. But I don't see why it wouldn't go as it normally goes. There's always a flow from high to low, and it's just, if you look at it from investors' opportunity, it's just free money laying on the ground. So there's no point in not flowing back into altcoins and trying to get there a couple extra bucks. So I'm very positive on that.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this before, like timing markets, like with a token sale, with a product launch, you can't.
It's impossible.
The best time to do it is now, right? So it's
just do it.
Whether the market's up, down, it doesn't matter, right? You got a product. We'll cover that in a bit, but you kind of beat me to the punch on asking like why now. Perfect, right? Perfect time to do it now, and I've been following along for a while, and I was kind of curious. So markets will ebb and flow, right? The unfortunate thing, people are going to be mad at me when I say this, but because the prices are so low in both of our ecosystems, frankly, it's a good opportunity to convert USDC and things like that to our assets to buy the token, right? So the idea is like you can bet on the native chain token, you can bet on KDA, you can bet on ELF. And then we've got like the second layer where it's our ecosystem within the ecosystem, right? And so this is where the builders congregate. These are the things that support the projects that you use every single day, right? So people are using the wallet every single day, right? So that's what you're going to support, right? That's like it's not as sexy as buying a meme coin, right? But this is we've seen this in so when I was having these conversations with Coin Metro, with Dan from Flux, and with some of the other people like that. Like, we all talk about utility all the time, but it's really slow to get there, right? People still want that high of buying something, and maybe it goes up. Most of the time, it doesn't, right? But this is a little bit safer. But there's some elements here that I think would be kind of cool to touch on. So this isn't just like buying into a wallet, right? That's not like the first appeal, right? For anybody, but you're gonna ask, and I did get that asked, like when I posted this, a lot of people asked me, like, so am I investing in a wallet? I think this would be a good opportunity maybe for you guys to kind of talk about what are they actually investing in, and kind of just cover that. I think that's a really cool, what you guys have going on is really cool.
Yeah, I'll just jump in and drop a few thoughts. But I want to like just do a bit of a history check and like kind of like look back, like where we started as crypto space, right? Like if we think about 2 years ago, maybe, or 3 years ago, like we were still, all of us, like kind of like renegades, right? Like crypto was like, I mean, you were still like in a way ashamed, like to say, okay, you're working in crypto. Like when somebody would ask you like, what are you doing? I mean, you probably just come up with something else that just don't mention crypto. But yeah, fast forward to where we are today. I mean, like, look, US has been like making huge progress in terms of like regulation, and we have like stable coins being accepted everywhere, and essentially crypto became money. Like it's not that just, you know, those, I don't know, just tokens that you just play with, and that they were seen like something like I don't know, like unreal, but it just is actually money. Like it's not, it's real money, right? So then the natural thing to do would be like to use it as you use money, meaning finance. Money means finance, right? So, and then when you think about finance, you think about like earning interest. You think about borrowing. You think about like doing exchange from one currency to another. You think about paying for things, right? Like these are kind of like natural things that you think about when it comes to finance. And I believe like this is the direction where things are going with crypto, as it's you see a lot of like a lot of super big names like investing a lot into this direction, like Stripe, Coinbase, Base. They've been like making like huge moves into like using USDC for payments and transfers, and you know, the things that maybe us that have been in a space like consider like normal, like just sending tokens to each other, but for people that are not yet, or for people that have not been in the space, a transfer is something that a transfer from, let's say, a country to another, it's something that probably takes a couple of days. While if that transfer is executed using crypto as infrastructure, then it takes seconds, like literally seconds. And that is actually the difference when it comes to using crypto to what is supposed to be used. And we are building in that direction. We started with Linx Worlds, right? You guys, or maybe people that know us from Cadena, they know us because of Linx Wallet. That's where we started. Linx Wallet, mobile app application, non-custodial wallet. You can do things with the wallet. You can sign things. You can sign transactions. You can transfer. You can essentially like play with any kind of like protocol that you want to play with, and you have like total freedom, right? And that's cool, and that's always going to be there. But if you want to like move one step forward, I believe we do have to make some choices on behalf of the user. And what I mean by that is, as a user, I want to like do things. Like I don't really want to like think too much about like how to move things around, like bridges to use, and like which token I need to use in this case, which dApp I have to use, and those kind of things, right? I just want to do things like I want to pay for something, like I want to borrow, like I want to make sure that I earn some yield on my savings. Like those are just things that I need in real life, and I just want to have them, and I want to do them without thinking much. And that's what we are building with Linx app, where we have this like package. I would say a very comprehensive package, and quite unique as well, especially on proof of work networks. I don't think there is another app out there that offers what we have. In general, like you have apps that are like fragmented, while we do have this vertical integration where we have our own lending protocol, inspired by Morpho for people that are familiar with Morpho. So we have that. We have our swap aggregator where we leverage liquidity from multiple dexes, so you can get your the best price on your swaps. Eventually, you're gonna have a debit card, so you can pay for things. So you deposit some money in our lending protocol, you earn some interest on that, and you eventually get to spend that interest for paying for things in real life. So yeah, that's kind of like where we're going. Maybe Flor, you want to add something to this?
Oh yeah, I got like 20 minutes extra if you want.
Go for it. No, this is it. This is perfect, right? Because this is more than a wallet. We're moving into. We've all talked about this before. We're moving into a digital era. It's applicable for everybody who's investing in crypto, traditional. It doesn't matter. Breaking down those walls. So go ahead, add all you want to it.
Yeah. So I think one of the greatest analogies that actually comes from Radu, and I think we talked about it like last week, is like making the translation to the Web 2 era and the start of Web 2 and the transition into where we are now, like late 90s, early 2000s. Everybody was concerned, or not concerned, everybody was trying to pick a small piece of some network or some foundational Web 2 company and bet on their growth and on their return. And I think what turned out in the end is when institutions stepped in and when everything matured, actually, the big winners were the apps, and nobody cared about who was on the background, on if you're using AWS or you're using Google or whatever, what on the background you're using. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the app. You use one application and that application does for you what you need, and it doesn't matter where it runs. And I think that's one of the greatest analogies if you're talking about the wallet / app we're building. In the end, it shouldn't matter on what blockchain you hold your tokens, or you hold NFTs, or you hold what a lending protocol, or you put your tokens up for a loan or for interest, or you want to do whatever. It shouldn't matter where it is. So I think one of our main goals is point one, to abstract that complexity away. And then step two is, what kind of users do you have to deal with? Right now, you're dealing with mostly degens or people who are trying to get into crypto. And I think the biggest problem is we're trying to educate people who come into crypto to learn to deal with crypto, which is actually complicated, it's dangerous, it's quite hard to keep your funds safe. And I think we should approach this in a different manner, and that's not trying to make them adapt to crypto, but adapt crypto to them. So from that point of view, we're eyeing two kind of users. One user is just the user that wants to walk away from their overexpensive bank, their fees they pay on just holding your money into an account. Just costs you actually a lot of money. Where I'm from in the Netherlands, you pay like $10 a month just to have an account. I'm like, for what? You're not getting anything. At least 20 years ago, you would get the interest and you wouldn't pay anything. Especially if you hold bigger amounts of money, you would actually get rewarded for that. And I think the main mindset there is to give an opportunity for those kind of people to have the same experience, but then on crypto. And then it doesn't matter on what blockchain it is, or it's just for the non-risk users. You just want to hold stables. You're not paying anything to keep it there. It's safe. It's under your custody. Nobody can block your money. Nobody can take your money. You can transfer it in seconds throughout the whole world, and you can put it to work in protocols, and you can do your own risk assessment. You can go for safe options. There's always something to put your money to work, and I think that's where crypto can be the biggest winner, in my opinion. NFTs and stuff are great, but the biggest winner, and I think that's actually what it's made for in the beginning, is just it's a transactional system, and we should approach it that way, and we should make it available to those kind of users that actually need it. And I think that's our main goal. And then there's the second users that want to take risk, want to own tokens, want to trade, want to do higher risk lending, yield, stuff like that. We got you covered too. So I think that's where we're going, and that's basically what you're getting into if you get into Linx.
Yeah, it's a holistic view, right? We take that for granted, right? So I don't know if my wife's watching this or not. She might be, but she's gonna be mad that I called her out. But like, I gave her some funds, right? So I told her go start up a wallet, right? I don't remember. Yeah. And she's just like, what the hell is this? Like why is this so hard? How do I buy it? How do I do? And I'm like, this is good feedback, right? This is like this is your normal user, and our goal is to enable them to be able to use this almost like a debit card, right? I don't see that being a barrier long term. I see it still being a barrier today. Even some of the best protocols are struggling with this, right? It's not solved yet. And when it does, that's where I think you get more adoption, right? Because we're still very, very low on the adoption scale. So every percent that goes up is like an order of magnitude for crypto, right? It's so many people. And if you can get 10, 20%, 25% worldwide adoption, I mean, just imagine, this is like having a Western Union at your disposal. As you were talking about earlier, cross-border payments. We've got family all over the world. It's nice to be able to just send them tokens, right? There's a give and take.
You get a card connected to it, so you can spend it immediately if you want to. No worries about anything. That's the way it should go. And if you look back at like how it was in the 90s, early 2000s, it was basically a similar situation. It was mostly speculative, and it became into something you cannot work around. Because I mean, late 90s, who was using a lot of apps on the internet? Nobody. Yeah, you use AOL for messaging or MySpace, something like that. But now everything happens on the internet. Everyone's scrolling on his phone 24/7. And I think, we're pretty much, my gut feeling is we're pretty much in the same space at this moment in time.
I think I remember now the analogy that we were discussing with. I'll just add my couple of notes on that. So we were discussing about the dot-com bubble from the late 90s, where people were investing in networks, right? Like from networks, I'm talking about like fiber networks, like ESPs, like just a low level. And if you were to like draw a parallel with crypto, that would be your L1s, right? Like that's kind of like where they stand. And after that bubble, those providers kept their value, or maybe they didn't really keep their value. The thing is that they did not outperform the apps that got built on top of those, on top of that infrastructure layer that was the one that has been hyped at that point. So kind of like we went through that kind of like similar phase in crypto as well, like where all the hype has been on the infrastructure level. Like there's been a lot of like VC investment in tools. It's been essentially everything. It's been like either tooling or infrastructure, just trying to connect the pieces together. But we have not yet breached the phase where it's all about apps, like that kind of like that top layer where it's all about apps. And some people may say, yeah, but we do have protocols, right? Yeah, but like personally, I still don't consider those as the app level, just because you have like just you typically have like one protocol that does something specific, and then you can like integrate with it and so on. But it's still maybe something I think it's a layer in between infrastructure and actually app. So it's still, if you want a piece of the infrastructure, that being a DEX or I don't know, like a lending protocol or something like that. So I think the point where we are right now is the point where it's all going to be about dApps. Like how can dApps accrue all that value, because they're going to be the ones that can bring in like new eyes, can bring in like new capital in crypto, and can actually expand crypto like a lot more than where it is today.
Hey, if fees line up, if it's cheaper
Yeah.
to operate, guess what?
Yeah.
Why
100%.
wouldn't you, right? If MasterCard said today, right, hey, we're actually going to enable this because our fees are going to go down 20%. I mean, fees on 20% of 3%, still it's that's significant when you look at their billions that they move per day. I mean, think about how
Yep.
much more money you keep as a society, right? So that you can reinvest things, you can do more. I mean, it opens up a door, right? That's frankly difficult. And I see the fee scale keeps going up. And I'm like, but technology is bringing, like, it should be bringing the prices down, and we're not seeing that yet. And so one of my hopes, and some of you may know, like I have a background in finance, right? So in the financial field. And we fought that all the time, right? It's difficult. Even when you're trying to bring your fees down, there's things like shareholders, there's things like budgets and all those kind of things. And every year, the cost of everything keeps going up. So those fees will continue to rise. Well, if we have decentralized systems, P2P networks, right, we can really cut those costs down. And I think there's probably something in there for everyone. And we certainly are used to that, doing token transfers between wallets and things like that. Like if you want to send your friend a couple bucks, we all know that's very simple. It's a very easy use case, actually. And when that blows up into being available for everybody, are you going to pay 3% or are you going to pay a tenth of that? You know what I mean? Like, it's a very easy equation after you start looking and we start educating better. It's great. I like the conversation. Why buy? I don't think I'm going to get into like why buying a token or not. I would say if the price is really low and you feel strongly about it, it's probably a good time. But that's really, like, there's no. I always say, like, the best time to buy is now, and then look at it in a few years. That's what I do with Bitcoin, right? I've done that for many, many years, and so far I've never been proven wrong. So whether that applies to altcoins or whatever, that's for you to decide. I don't know. I've certainly felt both sides of that coin, but here we are. We're still alive. We're still talking about it, and I think that's important. So the project lives on, right? So you guys have kind of figured out what your evolutionary path is, kind of to take here. And one of the things I'll bring up, just because I think it's going to be fun, because it's also been like 3 people have asked me now too, and it was on my list of things that I was hoping to ask. Probably for Floor, but maybe this one's a good one for Radu. So you're talking about like enabling kind of a networkless experience, right, within Linx and with the Linx app.
Ideally, that's what every app should end up with, in my
opinion. Agreed. So two things.
I think that's the end. Yeah. That's the end game.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you guys going to expand to any new networks?
Well, logically, there's Ethereum. There's I mean, it makes sense if you can bridge that network is also supported in the wallet and in the app. So from that point of view, I think the next logical step is Ethereum, and Lithium as a bridge to Binance Chain as well. So that would be a relatively small step to add that support for that as well. And I think it's important, if you want to go into the direction of abstracting away complexity, what's going on behind the screens, you have to.
Yeah. And so are you guys still in the business of looking at doing bridges like Red Links, or is that kind of off the table and rely on,
No, it's not off the table. I mean, it's been coded. It's the code is there, and I think it makes sense to have a bridge between Kadena and Lithium from our wallet perspective, and also from a token perspective, because there are fees being made on the Kadena side, there's fees being made on the Lithium side. and those fees flow back into the Linx token. So if there's no bridge, there's a lot of work in moving those tokens around. And I mean, there's a route, of course, through the Ethereum network, but it's more efficient if there's a direct path. So it's something we're considering. I mean, the code is there. It needs some tweaking to deploy it on the Lithium side. But my hardest part always in that kind of thing is like I would need to have an audit just to feel a little bit more comfortable about because you're talking about custody here.
Mhm.
So those contracts hold custody of user funds, and I would like to do anything that's possible to secure or at least have the highest amount of security possible and feel confident in that the tokens are safe in under a custodial contract. So, but obviously that an audit nowadays is ridiculous. The amount of it of course depends on the amount of code and how much risk is involved, but going through the audit for a lending protocol is like, geez, it's like 100K is nothing, you know. Then like, okay, but we're not like making millions here, so you know it's you have to balance stuff. I mean, maybe at first we can do a combination of bridging between Ethereum and Kadena and make some user experience that basically takes care of that for you without having to deal with too much complexity. And the first step for that is, of course, that you need support for the Ethereum side in the wallet.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think that's
great. I would love to do it for sure.
Yeah. So I think that there's a comfort level there too, right? You guys some of the most OG devs on Kadena, whether that's your focus or not, it's not not for nothing. There's just not a lot of us, so it's good to know that you guys are still active. You may not see it, so people may not see it, but I bug Floppy.
We talk a lot.
We
talk a lot.
And so you have no idea how engaged he is in our ecosystem because we just do it kind of off the scene. But these guys are still here. They're still chewing. They could have taken the easy path and left a long time ago, but that wasn't it, right? That wasn't the goal here. And so I think actually, as an opportunity, right? As you think about like you guys know both ecosystems so well, there's not a lot of people that could make that kind of bridge, right? So it's kind of interesting. And then obviously we finally recently, right on Kadena, we finally have the Kinesis bridge live, which is kind of like a big win. You guys have the bridge from Lithium to Ethereum, so there's opportunity there, right? So if people want to, there's a lot of people who I talk to who are in both communities, right? I feel like a lot of people naturally went from one to the other. They're both proof of work. They're both smaller chains, not smaller in a negative way, but like we are smaller, right? We have our niche, hoping one of them catches on. I think for some of those folks, but really it's
honestly, I think they both have a good chance. I mean, people underestimate, but there's like 3 chains that do this kind of stuff on proof of work. Mm-hmm. So, and one of them, like Lithium side, is very well developed, and Kadena seems to be catching up now, especially with the bridge, which is really important, a really important milestone, I think. And I still see like huge opportunities just being on these chains. And in my opinion, it's the only way. Proof of work is the only way through decentralization. And if you want to have control over your wallet and over your funds, you want to have through decentralization, because else you're going to end up with the next bank. And if that bank gets somehow summoned by someone to take control of your funds, then they take control of your funds. And that's not something you want, in my opinion. That's the whole reason for proof of work.
When people ask like why proof of work, right? Because we get this question quite often, like why proof of work? And the answer is like, it's very easy. Like you have just look at these numbers. You have 2.2 trillion secured by proof of work, right? Mm-hmm. BTC, that's market cap right now. Maybe it's a bit less, I'm not sure, but it's more than 2 trillion, right? And in comparison, POS, proof of stake, it's something around like 300 billion, 500 billion, something like that, I think. So it's fraction of what proof of work actually secures. And it's not obvious just because, like most of the things have been built on proof of stake, but value-wise, you can't compare them. Like the value secured by proof of work is just, I think it's approximately 10 times more than everything that's right now on proof of stake. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, you Bitcoin aside for a minute, where's the innovation coming from? I think unfortunately, a lot of people, like the mining community, loves proof of work, right? Because they're the ones securing the networks, right? And there's a business angle into that. And I'll tell you, if all of crypto was POS, we'd be Web 2 all over again. Like, what's the point? We're just using recycled concepts that work, and so is proof of work in a sense. But now you can actually have some level of decentralization and the ability to, I've noticed, with a lot of the smart contract languages too, like the focus when you build an L1 that's proof of work, you're building those types of things in most cases, right? When you're going POS, you're recycling things a lot because it's really quick and easy. So people are more apt to invest in an idea that could go blow up. But the long-term investment, right? The people who've staked their claim in like Bitcoin and other proof of work networks, they're just biding their time. They're not in any hurry. They're not in any kind of horizon that most investors are trading in. And that's why I say, like, when I buy things, I hold them for a long time because I understand markets ebb and flow. I understand how to trade. It's a lot less stressful to hold over time. And honestly, you're supporting those protocols more than if you go buy, POS networks. That's it. You're paying validators, stakers at that point. Well, POW, you're investing in infrastructure in your community potentially, right, or in your country. There's money to be made there. There's services that can be built off of that are unique to proof of work. And I think just as an ecosystem, it really just jives with a lot of us. And all the miners I know will only touch proof of work networks. That's the one thing. Ethereum got lucky, I feel, because they were proof of work first and they built it all up and they were able to go proof of stake. And I don't think I would never take anything away from what they did. It worked, right? It worked. They're still thriving in their ecosystem, but there's still issues with the underlying networks, and their L1 still can go fee crazy on you. And so it's interesting when you think about like where do you want to be, where do you want to build? I think we all navigate back to Ethereum, right? Because if you want, and obviously Bitcoin has the most untapped liquidity on earth, right? That as far as Web3 is concerned.
Yep.
So those are like the huge, like big conversations. You can always have those conversations. It gets very sticky when you want to have a conversation about some of the more, some of the networks that we're all familiar with that are not those big, like the big 3 to 5 networks. And that's where you see value, right? And so one value translates into opportunity is when you'll see a shift, right? And we're not there yet. We're coming to, Flora, you talked about this. We're coming to a mature state in crypto. There'll still be ebbs and flows. There will still be cycles. I don't know how you get rid of that. I think a lot of it is coordinated with Bitcoin anyways, and they're having events. We've had it since day one. Until that changes, my mind won't believe that it's changed, right? I can want it to be different, but we're seeing it. We're seeing more institutions come in. We're seeing huge investment come in. So now is the time to figure out how you stake that claim, right? And I think it's a fun time.
Exactly.
It's a fun time to be in crypto. The best time to build that I've ever experienced is in down markets because people just leave you the hell alone to build. In these up markets, there's expectations, there's craziness, there's people like flying off the cuff. They want everything today. But we're not doing that, right? So this is perfect. This is our pace. This is what proof of work does. It's a more stable. Unfortunately, price wise, we all know how proof of work's doing right now across the board. Other than Bitcoin, we get it. So as we connect these networks, and that's where I'm like hopeful, as we connect up and we expand our ecosystems into the broader crypto, right? That's opportunity, right? That's opportunity for. So you guys have, the lending platform. I'd like to take a few minutes because I know we're about 40 minutes in here. I'd like to take a few minutes, maybe kind of talk about what you guys are doing. If on the lending side, where is it available? Is it ELF only? Is it available on other chains? Can you bridge to use it? If you could kind of like walk us through that, I think that's a really cool value that you guys have and something that I don't hear a lot about out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
You take it.
Yeah, as
One second.
I mentioned in the beginning, like we have our own lending protocol. We went for a vertical integration here, meaning that we decided to build our own protocol as opposed to, integrating with an existing protocol, which has been like, I think, the general approach that others have taken. But using our approach, we do have a lot more control in how we want things to be, and also like how the experience for users is going to be. So I think there's a lot of value into that. Plus, there are a couple of like revenue streams that are coming from the lending protocol, which are flowing directly into the token. And that's like, so the lending protocol itself, it's inspired from Morpho. In short, not going into like too many technical details, you have permissionless lending pools, meaning that you have a pool where you have a collateral, and then you have a token that you can borrow. You can have many pools like that. Each pool has its own interest rate model. In our case, we're going to start with a dynamic interest rate model, which calculates the interest rate based on demand. So there is a target usage, which is set around 90%. Above 90%, interest rate goes up a lot, meaning, with the purpose to incentivize more deposits. And if it's below that, interest rate drops. That's logical. So each pool, collateral, token to borrow, an interest rate model, as well as an oracle. So at the moment, the oracle that's available is Dia. This is the one it's also available on Kadena as well. They have pricing feeds for most tokens. So we are using them. But as soon as other oracles come up, the protocol is designed in such a way that you can use other oracles as well. So when the whole idea behind this protocol is that it's very flexible, meaning that you can create a pool where you configure the parameters of that pool. So you choose the token pairs, you choose the interest rate model, you choose the LTV, and you choose the oracle, and that's it. And you have a pool. So that's kind of like the protocol. In a few words, this is, I would say, the core protocol, which is going to be launched at first, and then shortly after, there's going to be a layer on top of this, so-called vault. Vaults, I can briefly mention those as well. So vaults can be vaults are managed by individuals. What does a vault do? They are responsible to distribute liquidity into the best performing pools, so that you, as a person that just wants to earn the best returns, you will deposit in the vault that does the best job. Of course, the one that manages that particular vault has the freedom to add a fee for the service, because they're not going to do it for free. And yeah, you know that you're gonna get the best return. So you don't have to do that active management yourself. Somebody else does it, and for you as a user that just wants to get a return, it's as easy as click and deposit, and that's it.
It's basically fund manager. If you relate it to like stocks and stuff like that, it's basically fund manager that takes care of a liquidity pool and tries to get the best result out of it. If you compare it to what's happening on Morpho, there are like a couple big players that handle like billions, just moving it around and getting the best results for their users, and you pay a small fee for that.
It'd be cool to see like so Fleur, we talked about this the other day. So do you have any before I jump into this, do you guys have any plans to offer any type of direct lending on Kadena? Yeah.
On Kadena? No, yeah, maybe Brofi. We can tap into that, so the users can actually go into that. But if we go to lending, like we had a liquidity clone, pretty much on Cadena, but yeah, never. Well, we never came to release it. Let's put it that way. I don't have any intention of releasing that now. I'd much rather open up the port to links on Lithium to Cadena users and have a way that's within your wallet without, like the core principle we talked about in the beginning, without knowing which blockchain it is. You can just move your tokens to that lending protocol, and you don't have to bother that it's on a Lithium or whatever. You still hold the same value, the same token. It's just on a different network, and you get your rewards in links or whatever token is applied there for rewards.
Yeah,
I mean, and the best thing about that is the other direction should be possible as well.
yeah, and that's where I was going with it.
Users on the Lithium side should also, users on the Lithium side should also be able to take advantage of protocols that run on the Cadena side. I think if you look at the big picture, that's the end goal, in my opinion. That's where you want to end up.
Yeah.
You want to have a list of opportunities, and you pick your risk level, and from there you go for it or you don't go for it, and we'll take care of handling your funds, moving it onto the right chain, and make sure it gets into the protocol you choose.
Well, and with bridges, right?
That's
with bridges and opportunity, right? So
in the end, it's bridges.
Yeah, and
then go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I lost it.
So one thing I just wanted to say, this one thing that's really cool. So it's the concept of like where staking does come into play, right? Where it's really cool. So you have liquidity protocols, right? Where you can basically get LP and stake or park it and then reuse those funds in the ecosystem, right? So you don't have to always be locked up, right? There's risk to everything, right? There's fees to everything. But what's cool is like if you take from one ecosystem, right? And let's say you have a lot of USDC on Ethereum, right? We know how to port those things over, right? That's fine. But what's cool is if you could at some point be able to leverage the bridges, leverage the protocol, and then use those funds, right, to stake and or LP on other chains, right? So you can lend against your assets and then start moving stuff. And that's where like you open it up to the broader ecosystem. And that's kind of where I was going with it with, is there any possibility down the road? Because I don't know how the bridge on Lithium works specifically. And I don't know that it's even feasible, but I think there's like a great opportunity for people who want to be, you said it earlier, who want to be degens. Like that's it, right? You're going to park your funds that you have. You're going to use them on whatever damn chain gets the best yield. And you're going to go crazy. Like you're going to relend that money as much as you can until you hit a stopping point, or you get liquidated and just cascade the whole market. But we hopefully don't do like Celsius and stuff like that. But that's it. Like that's opportunity. That's the stuff I look for. So I have like so people may or may not. I do like my own bots and stuff, and those are the kind of things I'm targeting right now. Is how I can leverage my assets that are just sitting there stale, right? Because that's what a lot of proof of work is we have stale assets. They're just sitting there doing nothing because we can't generate, yield out of thin air, right? It doesn't work like that. That's what the miners are for. So we have to think different. But we can take advantage, right? We can take advantage of those POS networks, and we can be validators, we can be stakers, we can pool things like that. So maybe down the road, like a talking point on stuff like that, like how people can use that would be kind of cool, because I think people don't understand how all that works, and maybe it's on us to educate. But it's an avenue for people who have a lot of funds on both networks. They can reuse those funds, right? And so I think it's kind of a cool little thing about crypto. It's dangerous, it's risky in some cases, but it's where you make money, right? With risk comes reward, and with risk comes a lot of extra bills and stuff that you can't pay. So it's kind of cool. You can pick, right? That's the flexibility of Web3. You don't have to go to a lender and say, hey, I want to go take out $100,000 loan, and they're like, well, no, like it's like you have the assets. Okay, go. It's your money. You do it, and that's if I could explain the difference between Web 2 and Web 3 to anybody, that's it, right? You could just do those things. They're there. They're available. Some of them are KYC. Some of them have requirements, and that's okay. That's cool. We need that. We absolutely need that for the bigger players to come in. They're not going to park their money in a Trust Me Bro fund, right? They're just not going to. So we need those things, but Let's maybe pivot a little bit because you guys do have a token sale going on right now. I'd like to talk about that for a little bit and kind of like why people should do it, what they're going to get out of it. We already talked about kind of like the timing thing already, but that's really it. There's a lot going on that. There's some stuff on X that maybe you guys can cover that you're a little bit closer to, like what's going on, how they can earn it, how they can contribute. I think that'd be a cool little way to end this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll throw in a couple of ideas and you can finish it. So Linx token, we had so short summary. We had the seeds round last year. Now we were doing a pre-public round, kind of like a small round. It's only available in Linx Wallet, so it's not available anywhere else. So if you want to participate, download Linx Wallet. It's still going live until I think it's until tomorrow, right? Today's I forgot. Two more days. Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
So there's just couple more days left to participate. Linx token. We have about 4 revenue streams that are flowing back into the token as buybacks, plus governance for the lending protocol. That's the main utility of the token. If you have more questions about token, feel free to jump in our channels. Happy to answer any kind of question that you might have. Go ahead. That's all I had to say about it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more on the cocky side of token sales. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm giving you an opportunity. I've like a different approach because I feel what we're doing is going to be, if we get out of the slumps with Kadena and Lithium, I feel what we're doing is definitely on the right track, and we're going to be one of the biggest players on both chains. From that point of view, we did a seed sale last year and we sold like 50%, and you can feel bothered about it, but actually I'm kind of happy. The less we sell, the less tokens going to be circulating. We're not living off the token. That's not the idea. Of course, we need funds to survive, but in the end, it's built in a way that it's self-sustainable with fees coming from multiple venues. And it's, in my opinion, it's an opportunity. And if you don't take advantage of it, listen, I get it. I'm stretched thin as well at this moment, with everything being down and trying to get into some token. You have no clue what's going to happen. Well, yeah, that's crypto. That's a thing. If you want to support us, what we're doing, then for sure get some tokens. We're doing this week. If you buy for every 100 token, we'll give you a lottery ticket. And at the end, we're going to spread 100,000 Linx tokens over 5 of those lottery tickets. And if you share and like our tweets, then we'll give away a couple bucks to a couple winners there as well. I think also 5. I'm not sure.
So yeah.
But in my opinion, I'm not I used to work. I started out in sales, in insurance sales actually, and it's the thing I hate the most is trying to sell something that people don't want. So I'm trying to make something that people want, and then it's up to you if you want to buy it or not.
Well, and you guys are doing it opposite, right? So you're not going to give yourself any credit for this. I understand, and most might not, and that's okay. But from the builder side, right? So what people don't understand is this shit costs money. It costs not just money, but pure time, right? So you can look at it however you want, and don't take what I'm saying as any type of advice. I'll invest what I want. I love supporting these guys, so and they know that. If I could support them more, I would. But like everything, I don't want to sell I don't want to sell like the kitchen table to ape into coins. If I didn't have kids and family and everything, maybe. So if you don't, do what you want. But what's cool is so you're not just buying like a meme coin, which I get it. The price on those things can be sexy at times, but the drops are emotional and hard. I mean, most people don't win. Utility will eventually win, right? We know that eventually utility will win. It's just a matter of when and how much pain we have to go through. But you've got people who've been building in Web3 on some of the more difficult chains to continue operating on. No sign of letting down, no sign of letting go of it. The amount of time they probably spend on this stuff behind the scenes is more than you could imagine. It's not like you get like an hour a day where you can just code and do a little bit. You have to be in this daily. You have to support this. You have to support your channels, and you can go directly in Telegram. I at least in Telegram. I don't care about anything else, but you can go in there and have conversations with them. A lot of us are in there from these communities, so you can get community members from Cadena, from Ethereum. There's people like in there, and from Alephium and Solana. We all congregate. We all invest and cross pollinate these ecosystems. And so come out and support these guys. Even if you don't have money, just come out and support them. Right? It just share. What you're using the wall for. What you want in there. If there's a feature that's been nagging you, message Floor and just tell them to put it in the damn wallet. So those are the things. You have direct access to these people. They're not fly by night. And so I always tell people this, like I have my own projects, my own things that I've done. And I feel like if I had just cheated and been a complete scumbag on all of these, I probably would have made a ton of money and everybody else would have lost.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very easy.
It's the easiest thing. It's the easiest thing to do. And that's not what we're in for. I mean, to be completely honest, we're building for 3 years now. And I think like 90% of that is full-time with 3 people. And we've always been able to manage our own funds and hold up our pants and survive, So that's not going away. That's not going anywhere. But for the token perspective, it will make life a little bit easier. We may be able to hire an extra guy and build faster and stuff like that, and get through audits faster without asking for support from a chain or something in that direction. And I think that's what you're doing. If you buy into a token, you help deliver products faster and get to a point where we can actually build the platform that we envision. Coming back, by the way, I got corrected for saying the tickets. It's there. We're giving away 100,000 links to 20 winners, and every 100 links tokens you bought is 1 ticket. And there are also 20 for the giveaway on socials. Yeah,
and look, it's free money, right? So you want to be part. That's what I'm saying. Like, come in and do what you can. Engage with their tweets. It's not BS, right? You're getting a token of some value here. There's something behind it. And to finish my point, they're building this stuff. So it's not vapor. You're not investing in vapor. You're investing in their time and effort that they've put into all this for years, as Fabi said.
And we actually have a habit of releasing before we do anything. We're not asking, hey, give us money and we'll build it for you. No, we're already building and we're very close to launching the complete product. I mean, lending is in audit right now. It's going to be in testnet within probably a week or something. And then it's like maybe 1 month, 2 months before the public sale. Most of it is live, if not all. So yeah, it's just a choice you have to make. I'm not begging for money.
For anyone that wants to do a bit of research when it comes to like utility tokens, try to go out there. I think I've seen a thread on X recently about it. Like someone was trying to find like tokens that actually have fees that flow into the token, and the list was, if I'm not mistaken, like less than 5 names. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to like who are we competing with, like just purely thinking about token, it's literally like less than 5 protocols or less than 5 tokens that have fees flowing into a token. That's it. Like most of the tokens are there are just like governance tokens, which is cool, fine. They have their own place, but when it comes to fees flowing back into the token as buybacks, this is how it works. There are less than 5 tokens. Like I can think about them and maybe like list them, but it's easy to find them because there's not many of them. It's just literally a few of them. So yeah, you can't get better than this basically in terms of utility. Period.
And yeah, and that's great. And that's the thing is like people think like, oh well, there's these tons of lending protocols out there, but it's unique, right? It's you're earning it and you're sharing it, right? Instead of just collecting it for yourselves and doing that. And there's whether that's right or wrong is up for debate, right? There's like if you think about like a traditional company, do you think every company on earth launched for free? They did not. They had supporters. They had
No, of
board
course not.
members. They had advisors. All of that shit cost money.
VCs.
So take it, take advantage of these things where people will build as much as they can, without that support. But now we're to a point where as adults, we're maturing and we need to mature our ecosystem space, and we need to stop building for free. And I think that doesn't mean charge everybody money. That doesn't mean giving a subpar product. That just means taking it to that level where we can attract bigger businesses, bigger investment, things like that. There's a bigger comfort level. You guys are going through an audit. That stuff is expensive. But I do want to ask at least one more thing. So, baby face.
They really want your beard.
Yeah. I'm reading the chat, and everybody keeps talking about. I don't have a.
You're shocking the world.
I haven't had one for a while. I just haven't been on stream. I did shave today though, so you're welcome. But
it looks good on you though.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I do have a baby face, and I'm okay with that because I'm not this young. I promise you. But on the tokenomics, I don't actually care about this subject, but I know a lot of people who are probably like interested in this. You'll get like a million people. Hey, where's your white paper? What are your tokenomics? You want to just kind of cover, what the token will actually be like?
Yeah. So our fully diluted value is going to be 15 million. But that's actually not going to be accurate because a lot of, like I said, for example, the seed cell only sold half. So people who are afraid of VCs, there's not really anything to be scared of there because less than 5% of tokens is going to be held by early investors. 10% is going up for the public sale. If market stays like this, it's not going to be close. So I'm just going to be brutally honest about that. That's just the way it is. And we're well aware of that. And for the public sale, we actually only allocated 1%, 1 million tokens. And I think we're around 30% sold now. So there's also, if market stays like this, circulating supply is going to be like tiny, super tiny. So from that point of view, fully diluted value is not going to be anywhere near 50 million. But we're taking, as a team, we're taking 20% of tokens, but we're locking it up for 4 years.
Yep.
Or it's going to be vested over 4 years. So
that says a lot.
Kind of like we want to give a little bit of trust back to the community. We're not here to try to cash out on anything. We're just here to bring our vision to fruition, that how we want to end up. And what else we have?
What's next?
We have an airdrop actually for initial airdrop. That's 1%. There will be a decent portion allocated to the early NFT holders of the wallet. So we're doing most of the things for the early supporters because, without you guys, we wouldn't be left here. If no one used the wallet and no one gave feedback and no one talks to us, then we would be out in no time. But apparently the people that do use it love it. The people that do use our app or our API or whatever, they love it. We talk a lot. We're approachable. So things change also very quickly because of that. And that helps a lot.
We're doing a points.
We have some.
We're doing a points program.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we're doing a points program to bootstrap that initial liquidity and attract capital from other chains. That's going to be like super important. So that's also going to be a way to contribute. What else? You already mentioned. So the current round FDV is like actually 10 million. Public is going to be like 15. Public is going to be at 15. 100 million token supply. We are locked for 4 years. I think you already mentioned this.
There's governance, so people will actually have a say in what we do with treasury, what we do with fees. It's an open platform. It's built for the users, and I think the most important thing is, yes, it's a business, but big institutions want to have some form of trust when they deal with platforms. So they want to know who's behind it, who's building, is there stability in people that are building, are they growing their team? Can we make sure that if something goes wrong or whatever, they'll get to work, which is usually not the case in like full open source platforms that have no owner and fully decentralized. That's usually a little bit harder to reach a level of trust. I think that's important. the other part that's important is that we just keep building.
On that, I was going to ask if there's anything else you wanted to give everybody as far as info, but I was going to ask, like, roadmap wise, what are you guys looking at doing next? I know you got to get lending off the table, but what kind of long term?
Yeah. So next thing, next item on the roadmap is launching lending. So that's, I think Flor mentioned, like we are doing the audit right now. So I think before the audit is finished, we're gonna do a test net. Once the audit is done, we're gonna go to mainnet. That's the big item that's gonna come. Is gonna come soon. Once that is out, we're gonna focus on to optimize a bit the onboarding experience, because for us it's going to be, as I said, like super important to be able to like attract capital from other ecosystems. Like we are building on chains that are there are small chains, right? There's not a lot of TVL, so in order to grow, we do have to attract capital from other ecosystems. So how do we do that? Well, we do have to provide incentives, number one. Two, it has to be like a super easy onboarding. So we're gonna focus on improving that, meaning super easy to deposit funds, whether the funds come from Ethereum or from BNB, maybe eventually from Cardano as well. So you can just like click deposit and yeah, few steps and you got your funds in. We do support Wallet Connect and browser extension as wallets initially, but we do have a POC as well for a web wallet, meaning that you can just create an account that is secured by passkeys, and that's also like a huge milestone when it comes to onboarding. So that's also probably something that's going to come sooner than later. What else? Points program, I mentioned it already. That's part of the our go-to-market strategy. Yeah, I think I mentioned pretty much all. I hope.
You guys are Linx Labs. Yeah. If nothing else, follow them on at Linx Labs _labs. Get on Telegram. Beat these guys up a little bit. They're there to make you feel comfortable. And but seriously, like we're always looking for like as builders, right? We're always looking for feedback. We're looking for actually like people who want to use our products, right? And if they've got a neighbor that can use the product, let's make it for them. Let's start talking. Go over to your friend's house, have a beer, and go show them your wallet and have them sign up too. That's how we grow, right? I'm not joking. Like that's literally how crypto will through grassroots. That's how we've got here. And so don't discount the impact that you can have, to help these projects and support. And it doesn't just help them; it helps all of us, right? Adoption is universal. It's not for one project. It's the state of our world. We're going to keep going this direction. So AI can't do everything yet. So until it does, let's keep improving this.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how your time is, but and if there are people who have questions.
Yeah, if anybody wants to ask a couple, I got a few minutes. If anyone wants questions, shoot them out right now.
I mean, in the end, we're here for the community, so if you have questions, shoot.
Yeah, one hit up.
And if not, we can close it off.
There was somebody that mentioned there was something about the new KBE token. Like I think it was just about the idea of like having like so many variations of tokens, and I've seen it earlier, and I want to add a note about that. So it's a huge problem, right? Like I was chatting with somebody about it, and like you go on Ethereum, you have all these flavors of USDT and USDC, because on some chains you have the native token, but on others you just have bridge tokens, right? So then in a wallet you have maybe like 10 types of USDT, another 10 types of USDC, which is madness, right? And we can't expect like somebody to be able to use it unless you are a DGen. Like if you're a DGen, cool, you know how to use it. But if you're not a DGen, if you're just somebody that wants to, if you're a regular user, normal user, you're not going to use that. So then I said, okay, imagine the scenario where you open the app, you see a balance. It's just a fiat balance, right? Like you don't say anything. It's like USDC, USDT, whatever it is. You just say it's a fiat balance. That means that the app made a choice for you to use USDC behind the scenes, right? And then when you send to somebody, it's like no different than using Cash App, which I think everyone knows. So you are sending money to somebody, but behind the scenes it happens to use a blockchain, and it just happens to go in a couple of seconds. Like it's amazing. Like it's truly amazing, and we have to get there, because otherwise, if we deal with KB ETH and USDT OP and AUSDT and all those things, we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, those are the things you can abstract away if you build the right platform around it. I think that's our end goal. I think it was a crypto freak who said that.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think he is somewhat used to crypto, and he said, "How the fuck am I supposed to deal with it? I don't understand it." And that's a very good point.
True.
It's a very
Even
good
developers.
point. Even me, after fucking almost 10 years in this space, I still get sometimes into some app, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this? I need to connect there," and I don't know. Sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm not touching that. I feel like I'm gonna get drained or whatever, and you want to get rid of that anxiety that people have dealing with crypto, and I think we're getting there slowly. But there's a lot of improvement to make, and I think we understand how we can do it. So it's just a problem of execution.
Yeah, and time. Yeah, time and resources are kind of the big things. But that's the point, is like, as we're evolving into this like new stage of like investment opportunity in crypto, that means more time, more resources will be available, right? When you have a small market cap, less people are likely to build, right? There's nothing for them to build for, right? They're not going to make enough money to support.
Yeah.
But once that market cap 1,000x is from there, and we've seen this, all of a sudden there's this flood of builders. Like, I know most of them are scams, but like, let's be honest, that's where that people recognize liquidity, money movement. Those are huge opportunities. So as those start to improve, and they're a little more structured, which is good and bad, but that is where a lot of opportunity comes from, right? Because then we have bigger, like, they'll bring teams in to help. They won't take no for an answer, and they'll want to make sure that their investments are going to grow, right? That's their goal. So they will contribute resources that, frankly, most in Web3 don't have. Even some of the big players, it's a struggle for them, right? They don't want to give up all their money as an individual to support these things, when it should just be like the big players benefit off of these investments the most in most cases. But that's where your opportunity is, right? Is to be a layer in there and benefit from that opportunity. And so that's where I see the next couple of years, whether we have another cycle. I think we'll still have cycles like you said, Floppy, but that's where it makes sense to start partnering with fintech companies to get acquired by fintech companies, because they're looking to make that investment in that leap, and they're not just looking at one ecosystem. They're looking at broad strokes. Some will only want to invest in one place, and that's okay. That's their choice. But you still have a lot of people who are energetic about Web3. A lot of people who are still energetic about POW, and there's opportunity for them to invest in that and mine. And so there's like your two sides of the coin right there that I think is very attractive for people. So it's cool to see. That's a good question. Will Bridge USDC be added in Linx wallet, or is it even necessary? That's actually perfect, because we were talking about this earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, we just chatted about this a couple hours ago, because it was actually added this morning, and then it broke the wallet because it's only deployed on 2 chains, which I explained to Amir that I don't understand that people only deploy a token on 2 chains on a chain that's built on having dApps on multiple chains, but okay. But that actually breaks our wallet in this sense, because we have like aggregation going on in making your balance get fetched in the most efficient way. Because what people don't understand is that if you want to know your balance for one token on Kadena, you need to do one request to your node or the network to fetch that balance. And if you have 50 tokens and 20 chains, that means you have to do 1,000 requests just to get your balance, one guy's balance. And we have 4,000 users. So we basically adapted that script to do that. Instead of 1,000 requests, do that with 20 requests per user. So that's already a big win. But it's basically built on the fact that a token has to be on every chain. So now, since we really need to support it, because you want to be able to trade to USDC and ETH and whatever as well inside the wallet, we'll need to adapt a little bit. And I was actually working on that this morning, but then there was some complaint about the hack, which turned out it wasn't the hack. So I'm not on the wallet side, by the way, but
Yeah.
So that took away a lot of time and effort into going into there. But yeah, for sure. I think tomorrow or day after tomorrow, it will be in the wallet, and you can use it as you're used to.
Perfect. And if you need another set of eyes, just ask. I have like 5 minutes later, and I'll happy to take a look. So that's our thing. We're a small ecosystem. We're a small group of builders. We don't have, massive wallets. We don't have massive influencers these days, but we scrap, we get by, and it's a nice little community. So for all of its faults, for all the good stuff, the bad stuff, we're still here, churning stuff out and doing what we can. But definitely people. Without people coming in and using our products, even if it's the free stuff, it's not fun. It's not fun for us. It's not enjoyable. Yep. So it's, there's a level of engagement that I hope people, can help spread the word, and definitely look forward to see kind of what happens post lending, and how things shape up with the token and all that. So it's kind of it's gonna be a fun little journey here for the next couple of years.
I hope we can do.
Yeah,
I hope we can do another one of these, maybe in a few months. So we can. It would be really cool to like review like where we stand in terms of like, essentially like fees and everything, because it's all transparent, right? So it's all going to be visible, and we can just dig into those and talk about that, and like show our growth, right? That's going to be like super exciting, I think, as a next show. Yeah, it's
a great idea, and I of course it's not, you don't even have to ask, so just tell me when and we'll do it. We'll do it, and sure. try to advertise it a little bit more. I think I need to stream a little bit more to get the algo back on my side a little bit here, but we'll I'll make some.
Let's get back into it.
I'll grow the beard back. Nice and we'll go back to 1,000 people stream. So we'll get there together.
Exactly. Yeah, beautiful.
So
I'll be there too when you need me. All right, cool. All right, let me just take a second to thank everyone that did support so far in contributing to our token sale. Definitely appreciate it. We're always very mindful of our early supporters, and you will see and notice that as well in the future. So thank you guys that supports us and has been supporting us for 3 years already. We really appreciate it, and I think it's a good opportunity for people to get in if they want to get in. Just make sure you do your research, you know what you're getting into, look who you're dealing with. We're well-known faces in this space. It's a small space, but we've been here, and we're sticking around. So make sure you do your research.
Nothing is financial advice. Always keep that in mind.
We don't know shit about finance anyway, so it's all good.
No.
So thanks everyone. This has been fun. I enjoy these. Thank you both, Radio and Floor, for coming on here, and look forward to doing this again.
Thank you for hosting, bro. Very much appreciated.
Thanks everyone. Have a good